The logarithmic function is a nice and easy way to help us write inverses of exponential functions. So the first thing we had to establish when we were coming up with this logarithm was we had to have a way to write it equivalent to an exponential function. So if we have the exponential function b to the y power equals x, that will give us, that is equivalent to saying y equals log base b of x. You will spend a lot of time going back and forth between these two forms, so it's really important that you know that. But the function f of x equals log base b of x. That is our base parent function for the logarithmic function of any base. Important that your base is not 1 and that your base is positive. And this will also give us a lot of some restrictions on domain and that kind of thing, and we'll talk a little bit more about that when we start graphing these. But right now we're just going to focus on looking at the basis of it and how we go back and forth. So here is a slide that kind of sums everything up. So if you have y equals log base b of x, when you go to your exponential form, the y is the exponent and the b is the base. So notice where they are in the logarithmic form versus exponential form. Make sure you know this because you will spend a lot of time going back and forth between the two. And that's where we're going to start in this video, is just going back and forth between the two. All right, so say we have these logarithmic functions, or these logarithmic equations. We need to write them as in exponential form. So please note, your base is always on your logarithm. So log base b. So that's your same base that you're going to use in your exponent. So notice your base is here, your base is also 7. Remember, the exponent is going to be on this number outside. So that is your exponent, 7 cubed, and then that will be equal to whatever this number is on the inside of your logarithm. So that is how you go back and forth between the two. So we're just going to practice a couple more of these, and then we'll go in reverse. We'll have exponential form, and we'll go back to logarithmic form. Going to be very important that you're very fluid with these. All right, in problem B, I see that my base in my logarithm is b, so that will be my base in my exponent for my exponential form. The 2 is my exponent, because whatever number's on the outside, that's your exponent, and that is equal to 25, which is the number that is always inside your logarithm. And then last but not least, we have a base of 4. Our power is y, and that is equal to 26. All right, so notice it's not a difficult thing to go back and forth between the two. It's very convenient for you to be able to do it both ways, because sometimes when we're solving things, using a logarithm makes sense, and sometimes when you're solving things, an exponential makes sense. So it just depends on the problem. All right, here are 3 examples where we are in exponential form and we need to go back to logarithmic form. So same thing. So the 2 is the base, so that in problem A. So that means we have a logarithm that is of base 2. All right, the x that is on the outside, that's what goes inside the logarithm, and that is equal to the exponent, which is 5. So let's repeat that a couple of times. So problem B, that is a logarithm of base b, so logarithm base b of 27, and that is going to be equal to my exponent, which is 3. And then one last one, this is a logarithm base e of 33, and that is going to be equal to your exponent, which is y. Just a side note, that whenever you have a log base e, that actually has a button on your calculator. That is the ln button, and I usually write mine in cursive just because it looks a little bit nicer. But yeah, this is your ln button. It stands for natural log. It's French, so le naturel, yeah. Logarithm naturel. It's ln because it's in the French, but whatever. I digress. So just know that that log base e does have that special button on the calculator, natural log. And we will talk more about that later. All right, so go and practice converting back and forth. And then next time we'll actually start doing some evaluation. So make sure you come back for that video.